I'm here in front of the Wendy Williams Say It Like You Mean It summer tour bus. And guess what? I got an interview. How you doing? I know that you have made a lot of different transformations from radio, TV host, and you've even added reality TV to your repertoire. So
Dancing with the Stars.
Yes. So how has that all been and started? And was your role on Martin your first TV appearance?
My role on Martin was my first TV appearance, and you weren't even born at that time. At the time I did Martin, which was in the first season, I was a very popular radio personality in New York. And what I loved about being on radio in New York, because it doesn't happen when you're on radio just any place. What I love about being in New York is that if you're good at what you do on radio, then you get asked to do a lot of other things. Like I had a guest spot on Martin that one time. The Ricky Lake Show, which is a talk show from back in the day. Morton Downey Jr., Sally Jesse Raphael, Montel Williams, they were all based out of New York, and I used to be a talking head, like a person with an opinion who'd get invited sometimes to go on those shows. And I'm also a New York Times bestselling author, something that happened through being a popular radio personality, through doing one thing well, all the other things were born. And one day I got the telephone call about we want to do a talk show. And I'd gotten those calls before, but this time I liked the direction of the partners and what they were talking about. And so here I am on TV now.
So how many years altogether have you been in the entertainment industry?
About 26 years. I spent 23 years on radio, professionally speaking. I'm 47 years old now. I graduated from Northeastern University in Boston with a degree in journalism and mass media, communications. I knew entering college that I wanted to be a TV reporter or a radio personality. I wasn't sure which one. And, the growing up in New Jersey, my influence was, New Jersey, New York, they're right next to each other. Those broadcasters on the news, they influenced me greatly, and so did the ones on the radio. I decided ultimately on radio because I thought that news broadcasting was a little too restrictive in my personal life. I like I've always been one with a flair for the, over the top. And I didn't think that would change much when I became an adult. So I said, I better stick with a career where I can truly be me. Wackiness and all. And that was radio. TV was just TV news, a little too straight.
Now, we all know we're here with the summer tour. We're coming up on the 3rd season of the Wendy Williams Show. And for people who don't know, I've been watching since the 1st season.
I see from your shirt, you're my number one fan. I've always wanted to meet you. I always wondered who that was. Here she is.
And so how has it been with some of the major changes that have happened on the actual set since the 1st season to now beginning in September, the 3rd season?
Well, when we first started the show, it was a 6-week sneak peek. It was a trial run. And we ended up getting picked up for a 1st season. And we never changed anything about the show. The set was still the same. And we had opening announce. Do you remember when we used to have opening announce? But, it's changed a bit in that we have a new set. The set still has touches of pink and purple, but it's more like a more sophisticated place to stop by for talk. And we don't have opening announce anymore, but I'm still there, and I've incorporated various lengths of wigs as opposed to them always being long. When I first started the show, I was a bit blonder, but what ended up happening is blonde hair looks very fuzzy sometimes on TV with the high definition TV. So I'm a brown head on TV, and the wigs now aren't just long. And I think that leadership starts from the top. When my staff sees me arrive in the morning with a smile on my face, even though I might be dying inside, we all go through problems. But I need our time together on TV, just as much as you need it, or you need it. You smile and you laugh. I need our time, because when I get off TV, I go back to my own grown woman problems. I'm a wife and a mother. My son is actually here right now. I wanted him to meet you because he needs reinforcement that you can start your career whenever you say go. You're only 14. She's already in my career and she's only 14. I consider us peers. You realize that, don't you? You know. And so he's 11. He's in one of the beds. We have 12 beds in here. He's in one of the beds with the DVD and he's watching the Carmelo Anthony thing. He just turned 11 yesterday.
Well, tell him I say happy birthday. But I have a question about the third season, okay? Is the bubblegum wall, is that still a part? Will it still be there?
You know, the first season, it was the gum wall because I'm a gum chewer. You know, I need to get out my energy. The second season, I bought this beautiful piece of crystal and I dropped my gum in it, and it sits at home in our house. For the third season, I think I'm going to go with the crystal idea. The wall was a bit cumbersome. I mean, after the season was over, they cut it out of the old set and gave me the wall, jagged edges and all, and I sprayed it with glue and all the gum sticks, and it sits there. But I find it much more... just easier to transport in the glass. Although I was thinking of using perhaps Antoine's Emmy and sticking third season gum on it. That would be a nice decoration, right? And then at the end of the season, see, we got this for best hair on daytime TV this year. But if I just stick the gum on it and then spray it with spray glue at the end, that'd be a great award, right? Just say.
Is this your first summer tour with the Wendy Williams show?
This is my first, and I definitely don't want it to be my last. I would love to be able to do this every summer, and I would love to do it the way we're doing it right now. Number one, I love that I have my team with me, so I don't have to think about the hair, the makeup, and the wardrobe. And I come back to those because as a woman, I see that you, even as a young girl, you have a little makeup on, your hair is big and fabulous. You know, if you have to think too much about this stuff, then it takes away from your creative process. If I have to think about how my son is doing at home, it takes away from my creative process. I would love to do this tour every single year in August to kick off the next season, God willing. And I need my family with me and my crew with me, my set of producers, a big pink bus. There's not a thing I'd change about this tour. I'm having a really good time. And the food. When you travel America, get chicken and waffles and barbecue and hot sauce, and every place has something different to offer. Hot dogs, burgers. Forget about it. The food is fantastic on the road. Oh, it is.
I'm a foodie myself. So what have you learned about your fans on the tour so far?
They get me. My fans get me, and I love that. You know, we don't have to be like one another to love one another. You know, that's the beauty of my show. But they're just full-blown accepting. They might not agree with me. They might not dress like me. They might not be foodies like me, but we're accepting of one another, you know? And I think that's the great thing. And some of them have even dressed in like an homage to me. Girls come up, they say, well, we wore these heels for you. Or, you know, I have on my wig, you know, you inspired me to, you know, let go of the weave, or, you know, I got my weave for you, or, you know, Wendy, I wore this lip color for you. It's either, I mean, they're real fans and they've been paying tribute, and my gifts in one of the beds back there, I have just nothing but gifts that I've collected. People have made me such great stuff across the country. Food, arts and crafts. They get it. They're like, where are the Kevins? That's what I call them. People brought me Slim Jims. I'm like, really?
Well, that's it for now. Be sure to catch up with Wendy Williams' #1 fan on my next venture.